Charles Starks, the Little Rock police officer who's been criminally cleared of any wrongdoing in a February deadly police shooting, has now been fired. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kevin Kelly.
I'm Donna Terrell. New Police Chief Keith Humphrey, who's been on the job less than a month, announced the ruling this morning. It's a decision by the new top cop that is different than the recommendation set by his entire chain of command. Fox 16's Mitch McCoy is live at police headquarters tonight with how this is playing out inside the police department and on the streets. Mitch.
Yeah, Kevin and Donna, good evening to you both. A lot to unpack here. It has been 6.5 weeks since Charles Starks shot and killed Bradley Blackshire. Tonight, the Blackshire family welcoming the termination, while the police union calls it detrimental to citizens and officers. Tonight, the attorney representing former Officer Charles Starks says that the chief's decision appears to be coming directly from the mayor's office, something Mayor Frank Scott Jr. denies. These are the memos sent up the chain of command. Chief Keith Humphrey terminated Officer Charles Starks Monday. Chief Humphrey says Starks violated a department policy which prohibits officers from voluntarily placing themselves in a position in front of an oncoming vehicle where deadly force is the probable outcome. Monday's firing goes against the recommendations from Chief Humphrey's entire chain of command. A sergeant, lieutenant, captain, and assistant chief all believe Starks should have been exonerated with no discipline. Robert Newcomb has represented police officers since the late 70s and early 80s. He's also representing Starks.
This is the first time in all the disciplinaries where the chief has just totally disregarded the evaluations done by the chain of command.
In the report, Assistant Chief Hayward Fink says, quote, "I do not believe that Officer Starks intentionally nor voluntarily stepped in front of the vehicle driven by Mr. Blackshire. It appears that the actions of Mr. Blackshire forced Officer Starks to seek cover and move towards his patrol vehicle for cover."
What does it tell the employees out there about whether this chief really understands what it's like to be a police officer?
Newcomb says he thinks Mayor Frank Scott Jr., who hired Chief Humphrey less than a month ago, played a role in Chief Humphrey's decision.
The mayor made many initial comments about this shooting with very little knowledge because the file hadn't been done.
The mayor denies that, saying through a spokesperson, quote, "The mayor did not influence nor instruct Chief Humphrey to fire Officer Starks." Starks is appealing the decision. He has been cleared of any criminal wrongdoing. That was a decision made a couple weeks ago by the Pulaski County Prosecutor's Office. The Little Rock Police Union says that Chief Humphrey's decision is detrimental. The police union says this will cause officers to be hesitant out on the streets, which could put safety at risk for citizens and officers. The Blackshire family releasing a statement tonight. I mentioned earlier that they were welcoming this decision. They're saying, quote, "We hope the city will also take further steps towards making amends for this avoidable, devastating tragedy, which in addition to bringing distress to Bradley Blackshire's community, has upended the lives of his loved ones, including his 5 children." We're live at police headquarters tonight. Mitch McCoy, Fox 16 News.
Okay, Mitch, one of the first things you said coming out of that story is Starks is going to appeal. Could you explain what this appeal process is like? Who will he appeal to?
So Charles Starks will be appealing that decision to the Civil Service Commission. This is a group of citizens that will listen to the case. People could be testifying. They can either uphold Chief Humphrey's decision or they can overturn it, depending on how that plays out. Charles Starks has the opportunity to appeal the Civil Service Commission's decision to the 6th Circuit. And Donna, we were talking a little bit about the LRPD and Chief Humphrey. We weren't able to get any kind of response from him because there is an appeal in the works, and LRPD doesn't comment on these situations like this when there is an appeal happening through the system.
Okay, we'll watch it unfold. All right, thank you.
And if you'd like to know more about this case, you can read the documents that we've been talking about tonight. You'll find it on our website, fox16.com. Just be sure to search for Charles Starks.